In this video, I look at the new 2-player starter set for Kings of War from Mantic Games. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. So something a little bit different today. I thought I'd take you through a little bit of an unboxing or a bit of a review of the new 2-player starter set for Kings of War by Mantic Games. This 2-player starter set is called Battle of the Glades and it fits in with Mantic's summer campaign, Edge of the Abyss. Let's take a look at the box and see what you get inside. So here we have the box, Kings of War. Some very nice artwork there of the forces of nature. On the back of the box you can see what we have included. So there's the softback gamers edition of the rulebook. We'll touch on that in a second. We then have the hero choice for the forces of Abyssal. This is an Abyssal champion, and there's a couple of options of weapons and a couple of head choices. We then have a regiment here that can be built in two different ways. This can either be built as lower Abyssals, which have hand weapons and shields, or you can build them as flame bearers, which have fireballs. We then also have a unit here of succubi. Then moving on to the forces of nature, we have a druid here, which is the hero choice. We then have a regiment, which can be built up in one of two options again. These naiads can either be built as ensnarers, which have spears and nets, or they can be built as heart piercers, which have harpoons. And we also have here, we have a unit of salamanders, which can either be built with hand weapons and shields, or they can be built with two-handed weapons. So there's a good choice there of options as well from the starter box. And as you can see, we have a total of 82 models, which to be honest is fantastic value for the price here. So here in the UK, this retails for £49.99 from Mantic. There's obviously some discounts online, but I think you can agree that it is fantastic value for what's in the box. The total value of everything, if you were to buy it from the Mantic website separately as individual units, including the rulebook, retails for well over double that price. So it really is a fantastic value starter set if you're thinking of getting started in Kings of War, or you're thinking of getting started with one of these two armies. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at some of the contents. So the first thing you'll find when you open the box is this Battle of the Glades booklet. Inside this is some background about each of the two armies. There's some background around the Edge of the Abyss campaign. There's a scenario to play through once you've built up the models, and it also has some stat lines for the models that come inside the box. And obviously there's different ways you can build those models, so it definitely is worth reading this first, just so that you don't build them up incorrect if you're not used to Kings of War. So here it is, the Battle of the Glades. Again, inside some really nice artwork there. A little bit of information about what is Kings of War. A little bit about how to assemble your miniatures. A little bit about what the different options of the miniatures are, so you can decide on how you want to build them. Gives you a little bit of a background about Welcome to Mantica, and also information about the Edge of the Abyss campaign, or the story behind the Edge of the Abyss campaign, I should say. Some background information about the Forces of Abyss, a starter list that shows you how to build the models that are inside the box. Of course, you can build them a different way, but for new starters, I think this is excellent. So nice artwork there in the center of the book. Some information about the Forces of Nature. The Forces of Nature list with the models that's inside this box. Here is a Battle for the Glades campaign. So there's a story here of how to, basically a little story you can play with the models that are inside the box. A bit of information about expanding your army for the Forces of the Abyss, and some information about expanding your army for the Forces of Nature. And then a little bit more background information about some of the other Kings of War factions, should you be new to the game and you want some further information. Next you'll find the Gamers Edition of the Kings of War rules. So this has all of the rules that you need to play the game, along with some army force lists, and basically has none of the background stories and the fluff. So it's a softback book, and it's perfect for taking in your bag with you to the gaming table. If you're interested, there's also a hardback version of this rule book, which has all of the background stories and more information inside. Here we are again, Kings of War Gamers Edition book. I won't go through this in detail, but we basically have all of the basic rules inside here. Rules for terrain, shooting, war engines and nerve. And then we move on to special rules. Going further through the book, there is magical artifacts. And then we get onto some scenarios, and then we get into the force lists. So there's plenty of information there for anyone just starting out, showing you exactly how to play the game and giving you some force lists should you decide to expand your army. Next up is the mountain of plastic sprues that you get inside this. Now I was going to do an unboxing on camera, However, I unboxed it to see what was inside, and then when I went to put it back inside, it couldn't all fit. So who knows how Mantic managed to fit everything in the box in the first place, but they certainly did. So let's take a look at some of the sprues that are inside. So what is really interesting is that on these Mantic sprues here, is if you can just see in the top corner there, is it actually tells you what the sprue's for, which is really useful. So this is obviously the salamanders. You can see there's a number of different weapon options on here, and the bodies for the salamanders, they come in a separate little bag here already ready to go. So let's just drop some of them out. So you can see here just some of the quality that's on these miniatures, and I must admit, actually, I was really surprised just how good these guys look. So quite a chunky size to them, and then you obviously have some of these weapon options as well. So I'll just hold that in place there. You can kind of see the size of some of these models. So there's 4 of these sprues here to make up your 20 salamanders. We then have these sprues for the naiads. So again, there's 4 of these as well. Again, the bodies come in a separate package as well, but you can see all of the different weapon options, choice of different heads there, arm options to fit with these weapons here, some kind of ceremonial dress, a 2-handed weapon there for your unit leader, and some quivers there to attach. Next up are the abyssal succubi, as you can see written at the top here. The legs options here, some sort of torsos, and again different kind of weapons and things. I'll just see if we can get a little bit closer there. You can see some of the quality of some of the sculpting as well on there. We could just flip that one. You also get these little imps as well. You can just see there on cam. Obviously here we have some of the body options, and let's just flip that around so you can see the faces as well, and some faces there as well. Last up's the lower abyssals. So apologies here, there's some missing. I've already made a start on these. I couldn't wait to get started. But we have the shields here and the hand weapons for single weapon options, and we also have, if I can find them, yeah, we've got the flame weapons there as well. And last of all, we have the 2 hero choices. So this one is the Abyssal Champion. I've just started to glue him together there. The 2 heroes are metal models. As you can imagine, there's not the need to have the plastics for these guys. But again, there's lots of detail on there. Glued together, no problem at all. Really happy with the quality. I started this one, yeah, but this is the model for the Forces of Nature hero, the Druid. So as far as starter boxes go, I think you'll all agree this really is good value. There's somewhere between £105 and £110 worth of models in here, and it's selling for less than half of that as well. So if you really are new to Kings of War, or you want to start one of these 2 armies, or you want to get a friend into it, this is a fantastic introduction to get you started in Kings of War. So please stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be doing a week of Kings of War videos showing you an introduction in how to play, how to paint some of your models up, and also accumulating in a battle report using the 2 armies here inside this starter box. So don't forget to subscribe, click that bell button down below as well to be alerted when those videos come live, and thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.